Hey there guys, thanks for joining us on another Kickstarter preview. Today we're having a look at Miremarsh. This is from Room 17 Games and it's designed by Matt Green and Sam Mercer, two friends of mine. But as this is a preview, we're just going to show you how the game plays and what it's like, what you can expect from components wise. And if you like it, you can follow the description. In the description below there will be a link which will take you to the Kickstarter and you can follow that and go check it out there. There'll be a lot more information there. This is actually a really interesting Kickstarter. It's got loads of variant options, loads of cool miniatures, expansions and little extras, upgraded components and all sorts of cool stuff. The artwork and everything is amazing, so I definitely recommend going to check it out. Anyway, to the overview. So as of with me here to show you is Carla. Hey. Hello. Carla. So with the overview, we're going to be obviously looking at the game, and it has all prototype components as you can imagine. But you'll get the general idea, and we'll of course show you gameplay so you can see what the game plays like. So this is Miremarsh. Here's the Goblin Warrens where we will start, and what we've got to do is we've got to work our way out through the marsh to one of these quests. So we've got 4 quests on either corner of the board, and they have various things. I'll get to them in a minute. And we got to do that to become the Goblin King. So we're trying to show all the other goblins that we are the best goblin around, and we're going to try and become the new boss. To do that, we have to traverse the dangers of the marsh. There'll be monsters and traps and encounters and all sorts of gribbly things that could happen to us, and we'll most likely lose a few goblins along the way. Alright, so as we're playing a 2-player, we've got a stack of goblins here. Depending on how many players you play, you will have a certain amount of goblins. So in a 2-player game, we have 6 goblins. That's the pool of goblins. I'll give them a shuffle, and then we'll hand out 1 to each person. Carl will get 1, and I will get 1. And those are the goblins we start with. So I've got Hunter. So at the top of the card, it tells you the dice you'll be rolling during your turn, your special ability, how many items you can hold, and if you start with any items, Hunter doesn't. And obviously a little picture of him, just placeholder artwork at the back. You also get to start with is 9 fish. Now obviously keep in mind prototype. That is kind of like the time limit. Essentially you have 9 turns to complete your quest. And the way you do that is on your turn. So like I said, Hunter gets 3 yellow dice, which is these. He gets 1 black dice and 1 blue dice. And then what you do at the beginning of your turn, and I'll quick show you here. First thing you do is you roll your dice, and that'll determine what actions you have, which you then can spend to do your actions. These are the dice and what's on them. I know in the final round, the final production, there'll be 2 swamp monsters on the blue dice, but I'll get back to that in a minute. And then at the end of the turn, you eat a fish and move on to the next player. So, for example, just to show you, I mean, obviously the gameplay turn will explain more of this. You roll the dice, and then you have a look at what you got. So the different icons mean different things. For example, the feet means movement. So we will start off. What did you get, Carla?
I got Gulper.
Gulper. Oh, the goblin that big fat goblin that likes to eat everything. There's your one. Where's Hunter? He's got the big gun. There he is. So we start off in the Goblin Warrens over there. So to do any movement, if you don't roll any movement on your first roll, you get to re-roll the dice until you do get a movement, because movement's obviously very important. I've got 3 dice here with movement on, so I'm pretty swift. This one allows me a double move. That's a single move. That's a move or a scout. If I want to use this as a scout, I can look at a face down tile to see what it is. I obviously don't show Carla, or I could just spend the movement and just go straight there and then reveal it. If it's a lair, which most of them generally are, you get to take one of these monster tiles from the side, place it over there, and you can't do anything in the lair until you defeat the monster. And then you go from there. You can, if you need to fight any monsters, you can spend swords. If obviously I told you what the eye does, which is scouting. This little pentagram, so what was that, a pentagram?
Some magic, yeah.
It's basically, this allows you, it's a wild, you can use that as any of the others. The different items you can pick up or start with, you can get a rope. A rope gives you a green dice. You got daggers, which give you a black dice. A map, which gives you the yellow or white dice. And then, of course, as Carla's showing you, the little magic symbol, which is a blue dice.
Pendant.
pendants. So as you get more items, you can get more dice. You can also get some spells and pets, which will either give you more dice or different abilities, or they will just give you a flat symbol. So for example, you might get a wild dog, which gives you an extra movement and a place to store more stuff or stuff like that. You'll see that as the gameplay goes. But you keep doing your actions until you either are at a safe point. A safe point is where you're not going to get murdered by anything. And I'll explain more of that in the gameplay section. Or you can just end your turn and then spend your fish and goes to the next player. The first player to complete one of these level 4 quests, and I'll explain more about the quest when we get to the gameplay section because you need to see a bit more of what's going on. The first person to complete one of these will win the game, or if they're the last goblin standing, they also win the game. So that means every time you die, you get to take a new goblin from the stack. If there's no more goblins left, you're out of the game and the other person who's remaining wins. Or if there's multiple people, then you have to wait till everyone dies. Okay, so I think that's roughly it to explain. We'll get started, and then when we get to the gameplay section, we'll explain a bit more. You can, just a quick word about the goblins. They can only hold a certain amount of items. So those 4 items that I told you about, you can pick 2 up and keep them in your stash, and then you can obviously trade them out or sell them or whatever the case may be. Some of them will start with items. Like, does yours start with any items, Carla?
No, I've just got a special ability that allows me to trade in the bones from defeated monsters. I can trade them in and discard them instead of fish. So it gives me a longer... I guess it gives me extra turns.
Yeah, that's pretty good, actually. My ability is once during each turn while you're on a lair with a monster, you may re-roll the black die.
Pretty good.
The black and blue dice have the swamp monster symbol on. And I'll explain more about that. But his swamp monster can turn up and chase you around the board and cause all sorts of chaos. So he's not good. Anyway, we're going to start. We'll go back to you in a minute with the gameplay section. Alright, so we've basically had one rotation each. I thought I'd get stuck in with the gameplay because it's a pretty fast moving game. I moved on my first turn. I moved there, came across a leaping piranha. Just aim that at the board, so you can see this has a compulsion. So when you move onto an area, you use obviously the feet to move there. This in this sort of silvered box here, that's compulsory. You have to complete that objective. So I needed 1 scouting symbol, which I succeeded in, and then you go down the line, and these are optional. So I actually did have 2 swords which I spent, but I didn't have another sword, which if I did slay the piranha, I would have got a fish, which would have been awesome. And then when the monster's killed, then it leaves the lair left over, and this lair's particular ability is you can spend 2 feet and a sword to get a gold, which is not great, but anyway. But because I didn't slay the monster stays there. I'm on the square side. When I start my turn, which is now, I don't have to go through this again, but if I left and came back, I would have to do the same process again. On Carla's turn, she moved from there to the Swamp Gator, and the Swamp Gator ate her. So she has a new goblin, which is called Catcher. He has a new ability. He has...
So once during each turn, you may discard a fish to move your the swamp creature, which is actually not in play yet, but to move it 1 tile.
Yeah. Okay, so now it's my turn. As I showed you earlier, that's my dice pool. I've got no extra equipment or anything like that. So I'm going to just roll it on the side here. So I've rolled 2 blanks, which is not great. In fact, I didn't roll any feet. I do have a wild, but because I didn't roll any feet, I get to re-roll these again because you have to have a foot on your dice. Alright, so there's optional feet, so I do have them. Okay, I didn't roll the swamp monster, which is good. Alright, so what am I going to do? So obviously I've had a look at the quests, and I've decided more or less where I'm heading to, because Hunter gives you a kind of a feel of what sort of quest you want to go to. Well, if he dies, you might have to change that along the way. So I'm going to spend 1 of these feet. So when you spend a dice, that goes back to the pool, and I'm going to move to I'm not even going to look. I'm just going to move, and I found an encounter, a barrow. So when you start here, you can get a map token. I didn't start there. So the barrow is actually one of the few tiles in the game that are not detrimental to your goblins, strangely enough. So in my next, if I stopped here in my next turn, I start there, I can immediately get a map token, which would be pretty cool. But that's not really what I'm after now, is I've only spent 1 dice and I've still got all my other dice to do. So I could go back to the piranha and fight him. I'm not keen on that. I need another, some sort of fighty extra bits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend another foot and I'm going to move to there. So I'm not, you can see I could look at them, but I don't want to. I'm being daring, if you like. So this is an unexplored cavern. It's a level 2, so I take a level 2 monster and place it there. Ooh, a marsh crab. Look, another one with a fish. So I've landed over there. Now, as you can see, the compulsory option is I need to spend a feat to survive this encounter. Whenever you start a new encounter, you get to immediately choose to either keep your dice or re-roll all of the ones you have left. So the ones I've spent are gone back to the pool, so I can only re-roll these. And if I don't get a feat, which I did not, I die as the marsh crab eats me. Now, this dude, he does have an ability. When I'm in an encounter, I get to re-roll the black dice. But the black dice, as you can see, has a 1 in 6 chance of getting a foot. But a 1 in 6 chance is better than no chance. You ready? Are you watching this? Here comes that foot. No! He's dead. So, that is the end of Hunter. He goes back to the dead pile. The Hunter dies. I return all my dice back to the dice pool. This is a terrible start, guys. And then I draw a new... In the previous game we played just a few minutes ago, Carla didn't die at all the whole game. Poker! I like poker.
I had a character called Tanker, and he pretty much was a big old tank that walked all the way to the quest.
He cheated. So poker is really interesting. He
did cheat.
Yes. Oh, actually, there's an actual cheating rule. I'll explain that in a minute. So that's his dice. He starts with a dagger, which obviously will give me... That goes there, and it'll give me a black dice. So he has 2 black dice when he fights, which is really good. And he also starts with a gold coin. And gold coins you can spend at the various places to get extra equipment or items or pets or whatever the case may be. So the last thing I have to do when I'm dead, I just got to find my little standee. Did I get it good? Oh, yeah, poker. Just to mention as well, we're obviously using prototype components. But the miniatures for this game, I mean, go have a look at the Kickstarter. The miniatures for this game are amazing. Some of the best goblin figures I've ever seen. And they do some really other cool miniatures as well for the monsters and stuff. The swamp monster is great. So anyway, I have a choice. I can go there, or I can spin a fish. So when you die, you don't have to spin a fish at the end of your turn. But I can also go back to where I started, where I died, and pick up any items that I might have lost there. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go back to the warren and replan my strategy. And that ends my turn. I don't have to spin a fish because I died. So back to Carla. What are you going to do? So first thing, you roll your dice to see what you can do. Did you get any feet?
No, thank God.
Which, yeah. No feet? Oh, 1. Jeez.
Yes, I got a foot.
That's not the greatest roll.
No, that's not a greatest roll.
So, you can't see what she rolled, but she's rolled a foot, a magic symbol, and 2 blanks.
Can I go in the same space as you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to move there. And because I rolled a foot, it means I can roll again.
No, only if you do a challenge. There's no reason.
But then I don't want to go there. I thought you could just continue rolling and move again.
No, you have to spend all your actions based on what you have, unless you're doing a challenge.
I'm going to go there then.
Okay.
Right, there is a lair.
Ooh. Sorry about that.
Which has a giant slug in it. Yay for me.
Okay. So the compulsory challenge there is you need a maneuver to get away from the slow-moving slug.
Well, I mean, I have got a maneuver.
Now you can re-roll, by the way.
Yeah, I know, but I don't want to. I have got a maneuver.
Which is the magic symbol.
Which is, I've got a magic pendant, which allows me to complete that as it's so wild. So I'm using it as a movement. Now that kind of steely silver color means it's, you have to do it. I'm not obligated to do any of the rest, and considering I've only got 2 dice, I think I might hold there.
So this is where the push your luck element comes into the game, obviously. I mean, if Carla pushed a luck and try to go to sword, and the green ones do have swords, they are your versatile dice, as you can see by this diagram. They got 3 swords, so it's a 50% chance she would get a sword on one of those dice. But if
you know what? I'm going to do that.
But if
Just
she
for the sake of
doesn't,
the game.
she dies.
Right, so...
Just so I didn't see what...
Right, so I rolled a foot and a movement and a sword, which means I complete the second objective there, which allows me a secondary coin.
Yep. And you spend the sword to the pool.
And the sword is spent. It leaves me 1 dice. I can't roll that physically on 1 dice, so I'm going to end my turn there. So the slug is not slain, but it actually poses no risk to me either.
What's also interesting is she could use that movement to move, say, back to the Warrens if she wanted to, or if she was wanting to kill him.
I want to do that then. I did not know you can do that.
So but because you have to end your turn on a safe space, and obviously the Warren's a safe space. That was safe because she's not defeated the slug, but she's fended it off.
Do I need to wait till my next turn to actually use the abilities of the Warren? Or?
No, you can do it now if you want to.
Okay, well, I've got 2 coins, which I've...
Alright, I just want to mention to the folks watching. So 2 coins allows you to buy a bone. Actually, I'm reading upside down. A normal way. You can sell a bone for 2 coins, or you can sell an item for 2 coins. Or you can spend 2 coins to buy a pet, or 3 coins to buy an item of your choice.
So I'm going to spend 2 coins and buy a pet.
So when you draw pets, you draw the top 2 and choose one. So show which 2 you got.
So I've got a sick dog and a goblin.
Right.
So the sick dog gives me an extra storage, and an additional movement,
which is good,
available to me. The goblin says whenever when on a hex with another goblin, I can essentially steal from them.
Which is now.
Yes, it is now.
Which one are you taking? Know. The dog is pretty good.
I think I'm going to keep the dog. Yeah, that's just because you want to keep your dagger. But to be fair, I think the dog is the better option.
Okay.
In the long run.
There we go. So now you see what a pet is like. Alright, and is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
So you're going to spend a fish.
Spend my fish.
And then it goes to me. Alright, so poker has 2 green, a black and a white, and then a black for his dagger. Alright, so I've got some feet, so I'm good. Alright, so poker's good with he's a bit of a fighty goblin. And his special rule is when the swamp creature's in a challenge with a Scott, he gets to reroll his black dice, which is pretty fun. I think I'm going to go kick that piranha's head in. So I'm going to use this. Oh no, wait, I just realized I need a scouty. Oh, there's one. Good. Okay, so I'm going to use this to move to the piranha. So the piranha says I need a scout symbol to complete that challenge. I have one over there. That was lucky. And then a double sword. So obviously you could choose to re-roll every time you start a new line of the challenges. But if you have the right dice, why bother? So I'm going to spend the 2 swords finish the second line, and then I need 1 sword, which I have because poker is very pokey, and he slays the piranha. So it says when you slay it, you get a fish. Woohoo! I'll take one of these used fish, which I'm going to spend in a minute anyway. And now you can see the mossy track now has a new ability. So what I've got left is 1 foot, so I can move. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to move to the barrow. So next turn when I start there, I'll get a map. Oh, look at me, using strategy and all that. And then that's the end of my turn. So I spend that fish that I just got. So basically it was like a free turn for me. And then it goes to Gala.
Okay. So I've got no
feet again.
No feet. Even though I have the feet from it's not actually on the dice.
Yeah.
So presumably.
There we go.
There we go. It's a little bit better. It's interesting. Okay.
Don't forget your free foot move.
Yeah.
'Cause
Right.
I think I see what you're planning. You're thinking of going to slug and beating it up.
To the slug.
Or you're going to the crocodile. Crocodile has more swords.
I was going to go to the mossy trade, get a coin, and then go get another dice.
Oh, well, that's clearly different to what I was doing.
I can go there. I mean, I would get essentially 2 things, but I think I'm going to play it safe for a turn.
Okay.
So I'm going to go there and use my free movement from my dog.
Yep.
I'm going to spend 2 feet
And
a sword to gain a coin.
Yep.
And then I'm going to end my movement, or I've got a pendant, I guess, or a magic symbol, a wild, that I'm going to use as a movement, and I'm going to end my movement on the burrow.
Okay. If you had that goblinoid, you could have stolen something from me.
I would have. For the second time.
Alright, so start of my turn, I get a map piece.
Sorry, at the end of my turn I eat a fish.
So a map piece allows me, obviously, to get another white dice. Now, I think I'm not 100% sure on this, because obviously I've just got the prototype here. But it says when you start here, you get that. So I don't know if you roll the dice first and then get the item, but we're just playing it now that you get the map piece to begin with. Matt can comment on the video and say if I'm doing it wrong. Alright, so this is what I'm waiting to show you. So I've rolled the swamp monster. So when you roll this is immediately, unless, like, I've got feet, so I'm not going to re-roll. So this means the swamp monster appears. I remove this dice from my pool to use, and it goes to the used section. And then the person to my right, which is Carla in a 2-player game, gets to place it on any level 2 map tile. And then when any other slug swamp tentacles are rolled, she'll get to move that. And obviously if it moves into my square, which at the moment I'm safe because she's in that square too, I have to do then an encounter against it. So, where are you going to put it, Bob?
I don't know. Here.
Okay. Alrighty then. So looking at the rest of my dice, which is 3 feet and 2 blanks.
Oh, you can have a peek as well.
I can have a peek, yeah, but I'm tempted to take on this crab. Oh no, wait, I'm fully maxed out on abilities, so I don't need to. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'm going to spend this foot, and I'm going to go there. So I don't use scouting, I just move. It's a trap! It's a trap! Okay, so the dark path says it's 2 compulsory ones, but there's an or in the middle, so I can choose which compulsory one I want to do. So the one is just spend a foot and then you go back to the warren, or I spend a foot and a spy he thing and I can continue with my turn. So this is interesting because I've got exactly what I need to complete the trap, but the other 2 dice are rubbish and I don't really want, to end my turn just like that. So I could choose to re-roll my dice now to try and get some better results, which I think I'm gonna do and push my luck. I have an all option there, so it shouldn't be too bad. It was bad. It was pretty bad.
Well, you're not dead.
Oh yeah, you're right. I got feet, which moves me back to the warren, which is quite annoying. Alright, fine. I will spend this double foot. I want to keep my swords dice, which moves me back to there. Oh. I have to use... Oh, that was dumb. I have to use the move dice on my... Because I can't re-roll now anyway. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this, begrudgingly, to move to the slug. No, no.
Why don't you move to the crocodile?
Oh yeah. Oh man, this is dumb. I'm so bad. So.
Well, you can stand there and defeat him next turn.
I can't. I have to move off and come back on
Of course
again.
you do. But then you can move on to the slug.
It's true.
Jason's making this sound far more complicated than what it actually is.
Fine, I'm going to go to the gator and then I'll spend the sword to beat the compulsory section and spend a fish to end my unsatisfactory turn. I want to kill stuff. Alright, what do you got, Carla?
Alright, well, I'm starting my round on the burrow, so I get a map.
Yep. Have you got
which
it ready?
means I've got an additional dice now, white dice, available to me. So, this is just rubbish. Okay, well, I've got a foot, so I can't actually re-roll.
No.
Um,
But you could obviously move, say, to the crab and then
exactly
re-roll everything.
So I'm going to go to the crab.
Okay, so you need a foot to do the compulsory challenge.
Which I do have.
You don't have to, you can re-roll if you want to. Because you could spend the dog's foot to move there and then re-roll all your dice. You're almost certainly going to get a foot on 5 dice, surely. I might have just jinxed you there.
Yeah, you did. You need to shut up when it was the whole freaking jinxing nonsense.
Alright, well there's a foot. Oh, and the slug!
The slug. The tentacle.
Okay, so this time I get to move the tentacle.
Yes, you do.
And I'm going to move him there.
Right, so the tentacle is used. Against my will, but it is. So my magic dice is out.
So do you have a foot?
I do have a foot.
So you defeat the compulsory challenge.
Yeah.
And then if you have 2 feet, a sword and an eye, you can slay the crab, get a equipment piece and a fish.
That's lovely, but I don't think I'll be doing that.
Okie dokie.
Although it does make me wonder if I should...
What are you thinking about?
Well, as it is at the moment, I can't defeat the crab.
No.
But I have 4 dice in hand, and it is...
It is possible, because you can get a double feat on the white dice, a sword on the green dice, and an eye on the...
I mean, that's maybe possible for you, but for logical people, that's not that's not really how it works. I don't believe I can do that in one turn, so it's really just deciding whether or not I would be willing to try and do something else. So I think what I'm probably going to do is just move again.
But you need to still spend the foot to complete the compulsory.
Yeah, so there's a foot, and I'm going to move.
Where are you moving to? Back to the warren. Okay.
Well, I can't do anything else.
You can get another map piece there if you start there.
That's what I'm going to do.
And then
might as well try and gather some dice, and then eat another fish unsatisfactorily.
All right, let's do one more round. Because I think you guys can get the general idea, but let's see if anything interesting happens. So I roll my dice. I did actually get 2 feet, so I don't know. Lots of swords. I'm gonna murder something bad. Right, so I'm going to spend one of these feet, and I'm going to move to the slug. I'm then going to spend the other feet to do the compulsory challenge. I'm then going to spend a sword to defeat the second round, which gives me a gold coin. And then I'm going to spend a double sword to chop up some slug for breakfast, which means I get a bone for my reward. As yet, a bone doesn't do a lot. I mean, bones you can sell over here in the warren for 2 gold, or you can sell a bone here at the shaman for 3 gold. That's interesting. And then there are other creatures and stuff that benefit from bones. Just to mention as well that obviously your slots hold your equipment, but gold and bones are infinite. You can hold as many of those as you want. So I still have 2 swords left. What does the staining stones do? 2 feet allows you to move to any 3 hex. So I can't actually do anything. I can't move these. I can't re-roll anything. So that ends my turn. So I have to spin a fish. And it's back to you.
Okay, well, I'm starting my turn in the burrow again, boringly. Get another part of the map, which allows me an additional white dice. And I get to move. Okay, well I have feet, so I can actually move.
And you're down at the bottom here.
So... Okay, so I'm going to use my sick dog to help me move across into the marshy crab. And then I'm going to pay my foot for my compulsory.
Yep.
2 feet,
Yeah.
a sword,
Yeah.
and I don't have an eye, but I do have a wild to complete the marsh crab's objective, which allows me to slay the crab, gain
An item of your choice.
and a fish back.
Yeah.
So
Now, normally, because Carla's got 2 items already, she would have to discard one of the items. But her dog allows her to carry... What happened to it? Oh, there it is. Her dog allows her to carry a sword, apparently.
well, what would you like? Should he carry a map or a sword?
I think it makes more sense that he carries the map.
I think the dagger might just be his teeth.
Fine, we'll live with that. Was that all your stuff as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so did you spend your fish?
I did not. I got a fish, but did not spend a fish. Yeah.
And the, whatever, this ability is Unexplored Cavern allows you to, same as that one.
Which I do not have enough of to do.
Alright, and then it goes back to me. Alright, I'm going to do one more turn, and then we can have enough of the gameplay turn, I suppose. Let's just see if anything interesting happens. Maybe we're going to do more. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Oh no.
Luke is coming to visit you.
Yeah. So I've obviously rolled the friggin' tentacle, so that gets removed. So I now have to do a swamp creature challenge. So obviously just to show you for the purpose of the video, this is the swamp creature. So it has a double sword, remove swamp creature from the board, or spin a foot and you escape it. So I need a double sword. That's not too bad. When attempting the swamp creature challenge, I can roll one extra black dice, which is what I'm doing now. So, oh, for goodness sakes, I've rolled the fucking tentacle. So that does nothing. Oh yeah. But I need 2 swords to beat it, which I'll use these 2 swords here, which beats the swamp monster, but it does nothing for me. It just like wastes my time. And that leaves me with this. I'm not happy with that. I don't know if you can see this on the board, but these little dotted lines are secret paths that you can also take. So I am tempted. I'm going to move. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to move to there. And I have found an encounter. I can spend an eye to move to any level 2 hex. Yeah. That's meh.
You have it.
I know.
But of course it means any level 2 hex. So you could move into a safe.
Yeah, an explored one as well. But I don't know if I want to. I was hoping to stay closer to this warren so I can go buy some more stuff. I want to buy a pet. But now I'm left with this, and I can't do any movement with that. Of course I can. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna spend that eye to use that ability. Oh no, it's a level 2, which is.
I'm standing on a level 2.
Yeah, I'll just go over there. And that will end my turn.
Fish.
Oh yes, fish. Boom.
Oof. That is not a good roll. But I do have a foot
Way.
that I can put in my mouth.
Obviously, the one thing that you got to keep note is that, like, Carla's got 5 fish left, so that effectively means she has 5 turns to complete her goal or lose. Same with me, of course.
So I'm going to go to this one.
Okay.
And it is a lair called the Old Shack.
Which has a monstrous spider.
Oh yay. So
you
I've
don't.
used my movement. I've used from the sick dog. So technically, my dice are untouched.
Yeah, but you don't have the eye.
I don't have the eye, but I can roll, can't I?
Yeah, you can roll before any encounter, any challenge. Did you get an eye?
I did, but I also got a tentacle.
Woohoo! Comes back the swamp monster. He's gonna go there.
Okay. Right, so...
Just hold and go. Alright, so...
Okay, so the tentacle has moved. So that's a spent dice now. So I have got 3 eyes here. I've got 5 feet, and 2 daggers.
You need a foot and a dagger for the next one. After the eye, that is.
Okay, so I guess if I use that one for the eye, and I don't really want to use double dagger for one symbol. I wonder if I should reroll.
This is what she's looking at the moment.
Right. To be fair, I could actually complete the second one.
What's your ability again?
Once during each turn, you may discard a fish.
Oh,
to move the swamp
creature.
creature. Oh, that's... Okay. Hold on. So I need. I know. I need another
sword. Yeah.
Another sword.
So the thing with the double swords is obviously when you come across a double sword event, it really works in that favor. But you can't split between 2 challenges. So she'd have to spend a whole double sword just to do that one section. Of course, at this point, I don't think you really need to slay the bottom part because it gives you a rope and you have nowhere to put the rope.
No, it is true. So I'm just going to do the first half of that and get myself my second coin.
Yep. And then that makes it a safe area now. It's just the monster's still there.
So I have 3 dice still left over.
With some with
So
movement.
I'm going to use a scouting action and scout this.
Let's look at her face. Is it bad? Is it bad? She's not telling us. But the fact that she hasn't jumped onto it makes me think it's bad. She's scouting again. By the looks of things, she's trying to do this particular quest, which is destroy the fairy court. You need scouting, swords and scouting, and more swords. So you need to find the fairies and butcher them, apparently. So you got what you got left, a foot.
You know what? I'm gonna move over here.
Really? Well, that's a lair, yeah?
Oh.
I was gonna say you don't have anything to fight whatever's there.
I misread that.
You could move back to the mossy trick, or where you can get 2 feet and a sword to get another
I'm
coin.
almost tempted, actually. Now that I know what's there. Now that you know what's there. I'm actually going to go there.
Okay. So, spend your fish.
Don't know if I want to...
Alright. Well, you just saw us play through X amount of turns. As you can see, Carla's only got 4 fish left. Up here in the corner. Which means, effectively, she's got 4 turns left. So we could actually play out the whole game. Should we play out the whole game?
Yeah, we should just play out there.
Oh,
the thing about this particular game, we've had questions about during the time that we've been kind of playing the game out as to whether or not it's a light game. You know, what type of game is it? Where does it fall into? And I don't think it's a...
Oh, for the love of God.
You're so lucky that's closer to me.
Oh no, you get to move it though.
Oh,
Yeah, I knew you were gonna go there. Okay.
I think it's a very easy game to play. I actually don't think it's very difficult, which I think counts in its favour. There's not anything that makes you overthink things. You know, dying is not the end of the world, but it's also not very forgiving if you play fast and loose with your goblins. So it's interesting.
Oh my gosh, this is so annoying. I've got no idea. Right, so you can see I've only rolled 1 movement. Well, it's 2 movement, but on 1 dice. If I use that, I was tempted to go to the Warren. If I use that, then that's basically the end of my turn because I can't move anymore. I could also move to there with that 1 and then I'd have to re-roll all my dice trying to complete those two. And if I get 1 foot, it moves me to the warren anyway. Or I can move a foot and I continue. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a little risky. I'm going to move to there. I have to complete one of these because it's a trap. And I have much better succeeded, yeah. So I'm going to use that one, which moves me back to the warren. I'm going to then spend my 2 gold to get me a pet. Where's the pets? Oh, over there.
Sorry.
Good as well, except the only problem is the spells are very expensive. So I've got a captured imp and a grouchy vulture. Right, so I'm definitely taking the captured imp because it gives me a wild symbol, which is excellent. And then I'm still left with this. I'm going to spend those 2 feet to go. Oh, I'm risking it again. So I'm going to go there for 1. I'm tempted to go there, but then I need a foot and an eye to continue, and I can't get that from there. So I'm just going to stop there, end my turn, eat my fish, and make Carla go.
Okay. I don't really know what I want to do. Well, I guess start off. Roll the dice. Okay.
Did you get feet? You did.
I did get feet. I am going to...
So you obviously, yeah. You can spend 2 feet and a sword to get a gold coin if you want. Not sure why you would do that, but you could do that.
No.
Oh, you know what I could have done? I didn't realise I could have sold my bone for 2 coins.
You could have. I think I'm going to go here.
Okay.
So I'm going to go straight there. It is a lair.
Level 2.
Level 2 lair. Which has got a
Lizard
man in. And...
You need a sword to defeat him.
I do. Oh, I did. Forgot that I had that. Right. So I've used my sick dog's movement. I'm going to... Ooh, that's interesting. I wonder if I should re-roll. I think I might be a little risky and try and re-roll, because I need more swords, really.
Well, you're guaranteed, almost guaranteed to get swords. You can't choose which
Would
dice.
you stop saying that type of crap?
You can't choose to keep dice, so you have to either re-roll all or nothing.
Right. So I get to roll all because I've used my 1 movement I have used is actually from my sick dog. Holy Moses!
You only got 1
Not
sword.
great. Okay, so Mr. Tentacle Man gets to move again.
Oh, I get to move him.
Now, the question is...
I get to dick you over.
Do I need to do that before continuing? Because, like...
Okay. So, I'm going to be really mean to Carly here. And I'm going to move the tentacle.
That is nothing new.
So...
Some boyfriends like to, you know, be nice to their girlfriends, but, you know...
Yeah, but I'm not that guy. So Carla has to now fight the tentacle guy. So it interrupts her turn.
Can you just remind me, is it 2 swords?
To kill it, or 1 foot to run back to the warren.
So that's interesting. So I can roll again if I so wish.
Yes.
And I think I'm going to do that.
Yes, I would agree.
So that's spent.
What did you get?
Ugh.
Oh!
Tentacle kills me.
What was your ability was to move the monster with a fish, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh. Yes, catcher has been caught.
Yes, he's deaded.
Okay, so she got no other reroll capabilities, so
No.
she joins the dead pile, which is now 3 goblins strong.
Okay, and as a result of him dying, does he stay there?
Yeah, he stays
Okay, so
there.
he stays there. As a result, all of my stuff, include... What happens to the sick dog?
He runs away.
So he's just gone?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's gone, but all of my stuff remains there. So I distribute it between the space that I died on, which is here where the lizard man is, and the spaces surrounding.
Yeah.
So
Not the shop trader points.
Yeah.
And then you do one on each one, and then go back to the beginning again, and you can choose obviously which one goes where.
I don't know. No, actually, we'll leave that there. There we go.
And this is obviously able to be picked up by other goblins. And then Catcher gets discarded, and then you get a new goblin, who is
Skulker.
What does he look like?
Oh, he's rubbish.
Oh, he's the one with the flame to it.
Right, so Skulker has got 3 rope dice and 1 map. And he starts with a rope, which means...
Yep, it gives you another...
It gives you another... Where's the rope? Rope. And he starts with a coin.
There you go. And now you have the choice. You can either start back at the warren, or for a fish, you could start in the space where the monster
I'll
is.
start at the warren. Well, no, I don't. I'd rather have the extra fish at this point. So what's it called? Skulker.
Yeah.
We'll start at the warren.
Alright, so we're down to, there's only 1 more goblin left in the pool. If for any reason one of us dies again and we take that last one, the next person to die in a 2-player game obviously causes the other person to win. So we got to be a little more careful now. Right, I got a movement. Oh, the friggin' slug. I hate that slug. You get to move him. Yeah, I thought it might be coming that way. Ugh. So I'm going to use, because I don't have much, I'm going to use that to move to there. I'm going to re-roll these, which gives me, which one should I take? I'm going to take those 2. So what I'm doing is I'm doing the bottom one, which is the foot and move and the scouty thing. It allows me to continue my turn, and then I'm going to use this to move. And please don't kill me, please don't kill me. This is a very big risk. Ooh, oh, it's the friggin' zombie goblin. Oh, no, I'm dead. Alright, so just to show you, the zombie goblin, all his things are compulsory. And I've obviously just moved, I took a massive gamble, and I've only got this. So I will roll this.
Sorry, just these little tiles fit on top of each other quite nicely, so...
So I've got 2 swords, which means I've completed the first round. Now I need to complete the second round. I have no dice left, so I die. God damn it, that stupid bloody zombie. Oh, it's such a good character as well. Oh, I got the captured imp, I forgot about that. I can do that second one, but I need 1 more sword to beat the third one. No! Ah. That captured imp is my, that zombie goblin is my bane of my life, that he is.
Well, he's difficult. And he's supposed to be, though.
Alright, so down he goes. Who's the last goblin we have? Gunner! So Gunner has 3 green and 2 white. No blacks though. And I'm definitely... Now, this is I clarified with Matt, the designer. I could respawn there for a fish. I don't have to complete... When you respawn in these areas, you don't have to complete the challenge. So I could bypass the goblin, pick up that stuff immediately and bypass the goblin. But it would cost me a fish to do that. And I think I might do that. Oh no, I realised why I can't do that and why the imp was so important. I wanted to go kill the king. So swords and feet is what I needed, and I was pretty set up to do that, and the imp would have given me that. Oh man, I just realised how bummed I am now. Okay. But you know what, I am still going to spawn there, which costs me my fish, and allows me to pick up the map and the bone for no reason. And that'll end my turn, and go to Carla.
Oh, okay. Oh, so depressing.
You're depressed. I get a 1. Stupid goblin.
Oh, so could I have. I was set up for mine, but that's not how it works.
No, because we are goblins and they are friggin' useless.
Oh, right. Well, what am I going to do? And I'm really stuck as well because stupid tentacle was in the way. I mean, I guess I could... It's really risky. Yeah, okay. I'm going to go visit the swamp gator again. So 1 movement, and then there's my compulsory. The top one.
Yep.
And then...
Sword to get the money.
Sword to get the money.
Yeah.
Small part of me that wants to just go for the last one, but
If you die, I win.
Yeah. And I'm not giving you that. So I will end my turn there because I can't actually do anything with that.
Alright, spin a fish. Alright, watch this, folks. I've got a plan. So, roll my dice with my extra map piece that I picked up from last turn. I'm going to spend... Let's see... I'm going to spend this foot to move to there. I'm going to pick up my dagger, which will give me a black dice for next round. I'm then going to spend a foot and an eye to carry on moving. I'm going to use... Oh... I just forgot. I forgot about this. So... no, I can't do that. I end up killing myself. But if I don't move...
Can you not stop there?
No, I have to... The thing is, I've got a good chance of getting that. What's the... Oh man, I'm really tempted to push my luck. There's a secret path will take me to there. Now I'm on my way out that way. But if I don't do it, I'm stuck here, and I've only got 2 more turns after that to try and move all the way up that way.
That's really hard. Oh, you've got quite a lot of...
Yeah, I've got quite a lot of... Oh, do I push my luck? Oh my god. What I'll need is a movement and an eyeglass, a scouting thing. Oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. This could be the end of the game. It isn't! Lucky son of a... And then I'm left with a sword, which I'm not going to do anything with. Spend my fish, end my turn.
You've got 2 turns to get here.
Yeah.
And defeat it.
Yeah.
Ha!
I don't like that ha.
Okay, right. I'm going to roll my dice. Stupid dice. I want my dog back.
You sick dog.
Yeah, man. It's because he was chewing on goblin feet.
And maps, apparently.
I need Mr. Tentacle to move. Oh, it's really irritating. So... guess I will go here. Which is a trap. Which I cannot do.
Not the pentagram one.
No.
But if you did it, you would have got 3 money for it, which would have been pretty sweet.
No, I can't do. I don't have... I have to roll
Oh,
again,
yeah.
and it's risky. Especially considering...
If you bugger it up, I win.
I don't have a choice. I went there.
A sword and a foot.
So lucky. Okay, so that's that.
And you're left
So
with?
the trap is... I'm left with those 2, which I can move once, which I guess I can move.
To the abandoned well. You can actually spend 2 money there to get an item.
Yeah, I'm probably going to do that.
Which item are you going to get?
Black dice. I don't know, maybe... Oh, I don't know. Yeah, just keep the black dice.
Alright, my turn. Alright, let's see this. Now,
I've got a dagger now as
I
well.
fully kitted out. Once during each turn, roll an extra black dice. You count it as rolling the tentacle. Oh yes, he's really good at that. Okay.
Is this the secret path?
Yeah, so it goes from 2 to 2. So I'm
I'm
going to
an
spend...
idiot. I'm better at that. I start with a foot.
So a floating island.
By any location.
I don't care about that. A rotting hag. Oh my god, she's really nasty. So I'm going to spend the scouty symbol and a foot symbol to beat her. And then...
You've got the double feet for a coin.
Yeah.
And you've got that for another coin. And you've got that to finish it.
What are we looking at?
There's so you've done the compulsory, so that's your secondary.
Yeah.
There's your third.
And then
That's your
fourth. Holy crap, yeah.
lucky.
So I get 2 coins and one of these, which
it's pretty damn handy. That's a blue dice.
yeah, and I might get rid of my black one for it because I only need feet, no swords. So I will do that. I'm going to get rid of my black dice and give me a blue dice. And that'll end my turn, and next turn I win.
There's no ways I'm winning.
Alright, let's see what magical stuff Carla's... I got 1 fish, by the way. This is what my player board looks like. I got 1 turn left to finish it. I got some supplies. This is my dice pool. Let's see what Carla's got. She's got still 3 turns left. Did you not spend a fish last time?
I might not have.
Alright. What is she going to do?
Okay. Let's have a look. So there is a movement.
Of course, if I cock it up, then you win automatically.
That is what I'm relying on. At this point, I can only win by default.
I have a lot of swords.
Yeah, let's just have a look at what's going on with this lizard man here. So I need 1 movement, 1 sword, then 2 swords and a foot, and then a sword.
Have you got all that?
I don't. There's my foot. There's a sword.
No, don't use that one, because that one gives the potential to give you 2 swords on 1.
Yeah, but I'm not going to roll.
Yeah.
Don't be silly. And yeah, I can do.
I mean, once you've done the compulsory, you don't have to do any more, and you can pick up the items there.
But I can't use the items.
No,
So.
you don't
Unless I
want
wanna
to.
get
You don't want
rid
to
of-
kill yourself though.
No. But I'm gonna move there for my 1 movement. My compulsory is my sword. That automatically allows me to pick up that.
Fine, yeah.
And I am going to pick this up.
You swap it out.
Yeah. Does this go onto the space, or does this
I
leave
don't know.
the game?
I was discarding it.
Okay. Well, that's something that can get clarified as well. I'm not entirely sure. I would suspect probably better for it to be dropped, but
Yeah, that makes sense.
but I'm not
again,
going to
Matt
continue.
can comment on
Yeah. As much as I would like to use this, I mean, I guess no, I can't. Yes, I can. I can move. In fact, I can move. So I could move there.
It's not any closer to this though. And this is
But I can move there. There's my eye. Oh no, I can move there.
the eyes on
There's
the
the
one.
eye. Oh no, that's no. Oh, I don't know. Fine, I'll stay there.
What you could do is you could move there, spend the 2 swords to beat him, and then pick up the coin.
But to what end?
I don't
It's
know.
moving me away from the objectives again, so I don't really want to do that.
Well, I don't think you're going to win by objectives. You're going to either win by either me losing or winning.
You don't know that. Okay.
You ending
Stop
your
it.
turn.
I'm going to stay there.
Alright, this is the piece de la resistance. Can I do it? Did I get any movement? I did. A really shit one as well. Right, so I'll spend that to move to there. I got no other movement, so I will be re-rolling these.
Ooh.
And I need 2 movements to pass the first challenge. There's my 2 movements. Douche. Now for the second challenge, I need 2 movements. I'm going to re-roll again. Oh shit. There's 2 movements.
I need just 1 movement.
Yep, I have to re-roll. Come on, don't fail me. Woohoo! 2 movements.
And you steal the baby.
Charge! So, Gunner is the greatest goblin that has ever lived, apparently. He is the new king of the swamp.
Because he stole the baby.
Yes, because I stole some human baby. And I don't know what we're going to be doing with that, but I don't want to think about it. All right. Well, there we have a full. That was potentially a full playthrough, other than the very first round, which we didn't film.
And was only about 5 minutes anyway.
Yeah. And the video is about an hour long, so you can see that they say an hour on the box. It plays 2 to 5 players, so obviously the more goblins you have, the more chaotic it would be. You obviously have more goblins in the stack or in the pool to choose from. There's also a pile of other hexes that we didn't use that will change the gameplay as well. So you don't always know what's going to be in and out of the game. What else can I mention? Matt did say that the blue dice is going to have an extra tentacle on to make the game a little bit harder. Oh, the one thing we never used entirely throughout the whole game is the cheating mechanic.
Oh yeah.
I forgot totally about that.
I could have cheated and not died.
The cheating mechanic is you can at the beginning of your turn you can declare that you wanted to cheat, which will allow you to get an extra blue dice, and you have to take the cheating token. From then onwards, you can't cheat again unless someone takes the cheating token from you by cheating. But all tentacle results you roll on your turn while cheating or while you have the cheating token are doubled. So that means you'll run the risk of getting swamped by the swamp monster a lot more.
Yes.
But we could have done that. That was an option we could have done, which I completely forgot about doing that gameplay.
We are not used to cheating during our games, even when we're allowed.
Obviously you didn't get to see any of the spells, so these are the kind of spells. I think they're more items rather than spells, so some of them are, I suppose. So like, for example, Nasty gives you +2 swords. Slimy, once per turn you can move the swamp creature. Shifty, Dodgy, Lucky, that's quite cool, I like Lucky.
And just to say as well, with the goblins, you saw 6 of, well, in fact you got to see all six goblins that were sorted, but there are actually quite a few extra goblins, so you are essentially just taking out a certain amount of goblins that isn't in the stack depending on how many players. So there are more options. You don't actually know who's going to come out out of the goblin stack, which makes it a little bit more interesting.
I think that's really cool.
Well.
And obviously each one of those goblins has a fantastic miniature to go with. And me being a miniature guy, that makes a big deal for me.
I'm an artwork girl. I really like artwork. And I don't like dark artwork. But I would suggest if this game appeals to you, go have a look at the Kickstarter and see whether or not you like the look of it. Because I've got to say, I'm loving these goblins.
Yeah, the artwork is amazing.
They are just very cute.
Room 17 has done a fantastic job on the artwork, the miniatures. Sam and Dave. God damn it, my voice has left me there. Sam and Matt have done a fantastic job on the game.
Don't feel too bad. I've been with him for like 18 years and he still forgets my name sometimes.
So I actually think this. I mean, I don't often we don't give our thoughts on previews, as we'd like let you guys make up your own mind whether it's something that you would back or not. Because we're working with prototype components and prototype rules and stuff. I mean, the rules that came with the game came with a whole lot of erratas and stuff as well.
Of course.
So, I mean, you've got to keep all of that in mind. But obviously, if you follow the Kickstarter will, the link below, the Kickstarter will take you to all more information. And they got some really cool stuff. If you're a Dungeon Saga fan, they got a little expansion where you can use the Dungeon Saga characters and play through the Miremarsh game using those characters. Obviously, you don't have a pool of characters to die with there. You have to make it through without dying. They also have another one with dwarves. They have an expansion which is the Undermire, which is like a underworld expansion to this. So you use a different board and different monsters and stuff. They have tons of cool little stretch goals with miniatures and extra bad guys and things. So this is a really cool Kickstarter. They've got a lot of cool stuff. So I definitely recommend checking it out. I think it's pretty fun. And I'm backing it.
Well, I'm always happy with goblins, so.
And I know Molo's backing it.
So if you're a Molo fan,
yeah. But anyway, I'm sure the guys at Room 17 would love your support. So please go check out the Kickstarter and see what you think. And thanks for watching. Speak to you guys later.
ciao.